going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your boy, Sirr Love, and we're getting ready to talk about something that's interesting. If anyone's out there has seen the All Eyez On Me movie, the new Tupac biopic, then you'll understand that there's a very interesting business scene. There's a scene in the movie in which Tupac is done with his death row deal. He's completely finished all the albums necessary to get out of his contract, and he wants to move on, and as he said it, be his own man, according to the movie. But he was unable to get out of the contract due to Recoupables. Well, I want to explain to you guys what that means, how that happened, and how this guy could sell, I believe it's reported he made about $60 million for death row at this point, but he still can't get out of the contract. I want to explain to you guys how that happens. Let's jump into it. Phase 6. All right, great. I'm glad you guys are here to watch this. I really wasn't going to do this video, but someone asked me to do it, so I said, why not? I kind of explained some of this already to you in the New Edition video. If you haven't seen that, you should definitely watch that. We'll put it up here somewhere, right? Anyway, Recoupables was a downfall that a lot of artists fell into back in the 90s, 80s, and just various different time periods. People are still falling into that now. Okay, so let me explain to you what Recoupables are. A recoupable is jargon to describe how the label or the person that signs you, whether it was a management company, a production company, an investor, or whoever, whatever money that person put into you, they have to get that money back in addition to their profits and things of that nature. So that normally turns out to look something like this. Let's say the record label signs you and they're paying for your studio time. They may be paying for limousine service, private jets. They may be paying for your music videos to get shot. They may be paying for, various different things, and they can pull that out of Recoupables because And some of that was fuzzy. I know it can get detailed if you really know how Recoupables work. Your marketing video budget probably wouldn't come out of that. That would probably come out of your marketing budget. But Recoupables were pretty much anything outside of your standard budgets. Like typically when you got a record deal back then, you get a touring budget, you get a marketing budget, right? You get a recording budget. And then Recoupables were normally things outside of these budgets that the label was paying for that you would have to pay them back for. So now we know what a recoupable is. How did Pac end up in this situation? We all know Pac was a smart dude. It's undeniable watching his interviews and his videos that this guy is an intelligent guy. Okay, so why did he end up in this scenario? Well, let's using the movie as evidence. We're basing this off the movie, and a lot of people arguing that there are things in the movie that were not true, that were not accurate. I don't want to get into those debates. That can go forever. But I'd like to talk about how the movie positioned it for people that are watching it that want to learn. Okay? So, in this scenario, the man was locked up in jail. He was in jail for the rape charge. He got maximum security facility for, I think, a year and some change, right? He had to serve a minimum of a year and some change, up to 4 years, I believe it was. Something of that nature. Okay. He's locked up. All right, he's in a bad situation. His management can't get him out. They're trying to go to the label because while he's in jail, Me Against the World drops and it becomes the #1 album. He's the first artist to go, I think, platinum in jail. My dude's doing his thing, right? But why can't he get out? Why can't he post his bail? Well, his bail was reportedly $1.4 million. Now, all this is reportedly because I haven't seen the actual documents, but his bail was supposed to be $1.4 million, and he didn't have the money to get himself out of jail, even though he had success on Thug Life, Strictly for My and Tupacalypse. All those albums did relatively well. I think Tupacalypse went gold by the time Strictly for My came out. So my man he's in the black. Right? Why can't he pay this money? He doesn't have the bread at that time period. Regardless of what happens, Suge comes in the movie. He comes in and offers to pay his bail, get him out of jail, and get him back in the game, and offers him a record deal while he's in jail. Now that's an enticing offer. I'm locked up. Nobody that I have connections and relationships with outside of jail is helping me. I'm signed to Interscope. Interscope ain't trying to look out for me. My management team doesn't have the pull and resources to get the money. I'm a controversial figure right now. I'm sitting in jail rotting away. What do I do? Well, do you take the deal? What did Suge offer? So let me walk you through this situation and let you guys know what it's going to kind of look like for Tupac. I'm not going to use exact numbers because there's too many debates on the numbers when I look back and try to check the history. I've seen Entertainment Weekly has some stuff out there, Revolt has stuff out there. There's a lot of people that are like doing new things, and there's some backdated things online, but I don't want you to believe that these are the exact numbers because I don't want it to come across crazy. I don't know where these sources got their information from, but this is how it would happen and how he ends up in the situation. So according to the movie, based off of what I saw, I only saw the movie one time, but from what I heard him offer $3 million per album for 3 albums, which would mean $9 million. Let's put that on the screen. So my man is getting $9 million. We don't know all the other details of the contract, and there's a lot of other details that could affect this, but most likely in the 90s, artists were receiving very low royalties. For an artist to get 20% of album sales would be a big deal, right? So let's say maybe he's getting 10% on an artist royalty, something of that nature. Maybe he is getting 20, but we'll base it off of, hell, why not? Give him the whole 20. We'll base it off of 20. So according to the reports that I witnessed and that I've seen online, he made about $60 million, right, for Death Row. That's what I saw. He made $60 million from those 3 albums. The 3 albums were All Eyez On Me, which was a 2-album disc, and then the Don Illuminati 7-Day Theory, something of that nature, and he had the title Machiavelli. That he delivered that album, even though the album came out after he passed away, he had already delivered it to Suge, and I think one of the records was already on the radio while he was still alive. So he's delivered what he had to deliver. He should be out the deal. Well, if he makes $60 million, right? 10% of 60 million is 6. And so 20%, if we're giving him the 20%, would mean that Tupac out of that 60 million made what? $12 million at best. At best, he made $12 million, right? Off of the actual, the money that was received. That's if we're basing it off the 60 million that was reportedly made. Okay. If that is the case, then it seems like he should be clear because he made 12 million, he owed 9, because when you sign a record deal, you owe that money back. So if that's the case, then he should have $3 million left over that is his. How does Recoupables hit you? Let's talk about it. When he got picked up from jail, on the movie at least, he got picked up in a jet. When he got off the jet, they handed him a chain. That jet cost money, that chain cost money. Additionally, when he got picked up, he hopped in a limousine, that limousine cost money. Additionally, they had a suitcase full of cash waiting for him when he got off the jet. That cost money. When you move forward throughout his time with Death Row, you'll notice that he was constantly, he was in the studio, he was recording, all of that cost money. Anytime he went out and party, all of that cost money. His security detail, everyone around him, all of that cost money. Over the course of the time, is it possible for him to have acquired $3 million worth of debt? I believe so, because if you look at the piece of paper or the ledger that Suge Knight slid over, you saw a couple big ticket items on there. I think they said like his mother's house, a couple other different details like that were listed. And we're talking California, nice homes, big real estate. We're talking that when you saw in the movie that Pac himself had a really nice home. I don't know what his house really looked like, but according to how the movie just depicted it itself, you can already tell that he was likely in excess of this $3 million. If you also look back earlier in the movie, he was having money problems long before. He had scenes where he was in Interscope office begging for money. His manager was coming in there telling him, what are we going to do about this money? And he was tricking off with different women in the hotel. So he had a history of mismanaging funds. You can obviously see how he could have used up that $3 million worth of profit that he potentially had. And you also have to remember that I'm basing this off of the guy getting 20%, right? It's not likely that he even got the 20% while signing with Death Row. He could have got a much lesser percent, which would mean that he never had that $3 million in profit to start with, okay? Additionally, if we do the math another way and say, well, that album sold, I just want to verify the numbers. That album is diamond, but it didn't go diamond into 2014. So it sold 10 million copies by 2014. We know it went platinum during that time period, and albums sold for about, $15 back then. So if you're looking at 2 million copies at $15, then we're looking at somewhere around, $35 million, I believe, 40 million, something like that. So that 60 million number that was reported by Entertainment Weekly that he made Death Row is probably somewhat accurate when you add in, the Machiavelli album, but that was posthumous. But you can add that album on. Even if he did do over $1 million or $2 million, double times platinum or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's still the numbers seem to be accurate to me. So if those numbers are accurate, let's get to it. If those numbers were accurate, right, then that means that my man blew a lot of bread. And a lot of times artists end up in this situation because when you sign a deal and you get that loan, equate it to like a credit card today. Imagine you're given a credit card for $2 million, $9 million, but you don't have access to the credit card. Someone else is sliding that credit card for you, and everything you do, they slide. You don't even see what's being slid. You just believe that everything is being taken care of. When a person says, I got you, your mom is sick, I'm gonna pay her medical bill, they're sliding that credit card. When they say, oh man, you're going through hard times, you need some money, they're sliding that credit card to the ATM machine. When they come up to you and say, hey, happy birthday, I just bought you a car, they're sliding that credit card. Everything that happens is sliding that card. And you gotta remember that even if you make the company a whole lot of money, you have to pay back the company with the money that you made, not the money that was made altogether. So that's how you end up in this situation. That's how smart guy Tupac ends up broke. I believe the dude is very intelligent. I believe that he was so passionate about his causes, about his music, about all the crazy things that were happening to his life. You know, he was in movies, he was in television, there was violence going on, there was love going on, there was a lot going on. I don't think that he had the time to really pause and learn the business. I do believe he had the skill sets as far as the knowledge. He would have probably been a beast at the business. If you look at people like Jay-Z today, an intelligent guy that came from the streets, and you know, Pac didn't necessarily come from the streets, but he was definitely in the streets, right? So we can kind of see what Jay was able to do and question, would Pac have been able to do something similar? Probably, but if you notice, Jay didn't, you know, start doing those things until later in his life. He came into the game, yes, he came into the game a boss, but he didn't come into the game as young as Pac did. Pac died at 25. 25, Jay wasn't even fully in the game yet. So when you look at that, I do think there was a chance that he would have done better in the future, but you know, he got jammed up. So here's another question I have for you guys that someone asked me that I'm going to answer in the next video. I was asked, how could he have gotten out of the situation? How do artists prevent getting caught up in recoupables? How do artists, you know, what could Pac have done to not owe that money and to be able to do his own thing and be his own man like he wanted to be and not have to do Death Row East and all these other different things? Well, I'll talk about that in the next video. Other than that, my name is Sirr Love. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little about a lot. And every time I do this, I give you guys everything that I got. That movie just came out on Thursday. It's Father's Day, and so my daughter's with me, distracting daddy while he's doing his videos. But all eyes on me. It was a pretty dope movie. It was cool. I didn't really love it, but I didn't hate it. So check it out. You know, support hip hop culture. Come on, babe. Check me out on www.phasevi.com, or you can check me on the Instagram, all those different things, man. We got a lot of dope things going on, so check us out. Stay tuned. You all right?
Come on and face it. If you need some marketing motivation, you can learn to transform your life and build your own empire. With Sirr Love.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, I said real talk. I said real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah. Sirr Love.